There's an interesting thing to me. Homer talks about the difference between comedy and tragedy. If you ever wonder about the smiling face on one side of the mask and the sad face on the other mask over next to it, it's about comedy and tragedy. What is comedy? It's how you see it when it happens to someone else. What is tragedy? It is how you see it when it happens to you. And I find this so comedical. It's wow. I'm seeing something where, somebody's being convicted in Georgia and the whole court case is open and it's there. You can look at it. And the guy talking about it, he says, like anybody that's ever seen somebody that's pled guilty, this is what it looks like. And I think, oh my gosh. Last time I was in court, I went in, I was dressed in my suit. You got to look good when you're going to court. Don't show up with a fuck you sticker. The judge will say fuck you too. And you're screwed because there's got to be some kind of order. And I went up. I didn't have a lawyer. I just stood there and I said, guilty. And he's like, what? Right before he could even talk about the damn thing. I said, yeah, I plead guilty. So I was going to be done for the day. I wasn't going to have to take another day off work or anything like that. And he looked at me with this look of shock. And he says, well, because why did I plead guilty? I said, guilty? I said, and he said, why do you plead guilty today? It was an arraignment. This is the right to a speedy trial, Let's get over this. Just get it done. Why did you plead guilty today? I said, because I did it. I said, there's nothing that I could show you that doesn't defend myself from against what you already saw. And he says, oh, well, I would suggest we schedule another trial for sentencing or something like that, some kind of thing. After I was doing this all in the arraignment, which I know what that is, what are you going to say? That's your chance. Have it done with. Guilty. I did it. And he said, well, I'd suggest. And so I said, well, whatever you say. It's not the first time a judge has given me advice in court that kept me out of trouble. They must like me. And so he said, you'll get a lighter sentence. You come back. And I said, okay, wherever the hell. So even when I pled guilty, I have just shown all of you. They say anybody that pleads guilty is going to hear this speech in court where they ask you all the questions about what you're guilty for. I pled guilty and I didn't have to see any of it. It's all new to me. Oh, and many others unlike me.